You know what else Jalen Hurts does better than you? He makes a better peanut butter jelly sandwich than you. You know what else he does? He watches movies somehow better than you. If you woke up this morning, guess what? He woke up better than you. If you're driving to work, guess what? He's driving to work better than you right now. If you're making a dinner, guess what? He's going to make it better. If you're making instant mac and cheese, it takes 3 minutes and 30 seconds to make instant mac and cheese in the microwave. Guess what? He's making better instant mac and cheese than you are. Jalen Hurts is better than you, so therefore he heals faster than you. By now, I really hope you've seen that cut because I feel like at the end of Nick Sirianni's little rant to our friend Mike Sealski, by the way, about how Jalen Hurts and why Jalen Hurts heals faster than you. Which at the end of it all just means to me that he's going to play on Sunday. But if all that's true, and that's how he feels, it like, for me, it reminded me of those old, remember Neosporin? Remember you're a kid, you get a scrape or whatever, mom put Neosporin on the cut first. That's it if you guys were fancy, right? And they did the commercials of the cut finger, and this finger used Neosporin. And it was like it looked like something from a Civil War photo. And then the other one that used Neosporin, this cut didn't use Neosporin. This cut used Neosporin. And it was like a perfect finger. So see, it healed fast. That's Jalen Hurts. Jalen Hurts is the picture on the left. That's what it is. Jalen Hurts is the picture on the left. Well, if you're watching it, my left, excuse me. That's what Nick Sirianni was trying to illustrate to the good people in the media yesterday, and to you and me, and to those that give a damn about what he has to say during the week. A couple of things jumped out from the press conference. I'll be sure to play them for you. One has to do with Lane Johnson. The other has to do with Jalen Hurts. And another has to do with our boy Ceee Dee Duece, who apparently is feeling better. Anytime, ladies and gentlemen, anytime you get a reporter such as Josh Tolentino of the Philadelphia Inquirer to tweet out that you were drenched with sweat, as he does here, saying that C.J. Gardner-Johnson appeared inside the Eagles locker room today, though he declined to talk to reporters. C.J. G.J., as he's become known also, I still prefer Ceee Dee Duece, was sporting a drenched long-sleeve shirt, presumably from another workout, from after a workout. He was in great spirits while bantering with his secondary teammates. Drenched in sweat, ladies and gentlemen. Let's put the pieces together. He was sweating. So that means not just sweating, but drenched in sweat. Could have been working out. Which means he could be, although he didn't participate in walkthrough from what I understand. The Eagles still cannot activate him off IR this week, and he could still play Sunday. The fact that he wasn't part of walkthrough definitely is a hit towards that. But you'll hear from Nick Sirianni momentarily saying that he was feeling better. He was in the locker room, possibly working out, which would show some health, obviously. So maybe you get him back for this game. Injury news with the Eagles. We'll let you hear from Nick Sirianni and Jalen Hurts. And like I said, with Lane Johnson, we'll let you hear from him as well. But one of the things that came out yesterday was how Lane Johnson is going to put off the surgery on whatever groin/abdomen injury that he has. I, in no way, shape, or form, a doctor. I, in no way, shape, or form, have examined Lane Johnson. But when I hear those two words, I think of a sports hernia. And I believe we got into that yesterday with John McMullen as well. If he is putting off surgery for a sports hernia, that has ended guys' seasons. And he's putting it off until after he plays. And he's not putting the surgery off to not play in the playoffs. He's putting the surgery off so he can play in the playoffs, which means he wants to play in the playoffs with possibly a sports hernia. From what I have heard, that is extremely painful. What I've heard from doctors, what I've heard from players that have dealt with it, that is no joke. And I remember, and it's funny, I saw Jeff McClain tweet this out. It was surgery after Lane Johnson's, I think, high ankle sprain where he had surgery to correct it. And he showed the video of Lane Johnson, basically showing how torn up his ankle was. And I remember talking to Trey Thomas about it. And Trey was like, dude, high ankle sprains are no joke. And the fact that Lane Johnson played through that year shows you his commitment to winning, his commitment to be there for his teammates, and how great that is. And that goes a long way. You'll hear from Jordan Mailata a little bit later in the show, how that affects the rest of the team, that Lane wants to be out there with his brothers and what that means to everybody, how great that is, and that's great. Everything's great. we didn't get any tip of the cap, or excuse me, tip of the hand as to who was going to be going in there to be playing for Lane Johnson with him being out this week. But it is incredible that this guy is delaying surgery to be there for the playoffs, for as deep a playoff run that we can enjoy here in Philadelphia. And that brings me to this. I am getting a sense after this loss to the Cowboys, after your MVP candidate, Jalen Hurts, it's unsure as to when he's going to return. I'm getting a sense from people that there is a lot of doubt starting to creep in on the Philadelphia Eagles. A lot of doubt starting to creep in on the Philadelphia Eagles. Most recently, I know ESPN's power rankings knocked them down a peg, and now they have the San Francisco 49ers up there with the Eagles there at number 2. To me, I still look at the Eagles as a Super Bowl team. Nothing for me has wavered. I don't think Jalen Hurts' injury is that significant. I don't think it's that big a deal. I believe they were extra cautious, as they should have been, to not play him against the Cowboys, so good on them for that. And I believe that he still has a great chance to play on Sunday against the Saints. I got to see what happens with practice day, if he's at all a participant, if he's going to be out there at all. I got to see how the rest of the week goes. But if I had to say right now whether or not he's going to play, I think he is going to play Sunday. The way Nick Sirianni talked about how, how fast he heals more so than last week, and how great Jalen Hurts is and all that stuff, and how fast he can do all that stuff, I think he's going to play on Sunday. That's my gut feeling right now. And I don't think it's going to be anything where it's, they needed to play right now so he can rest next week. No, I don't think that's it. I think he's just going to be healthy enough to play. And if he's healthy enough to play, they're going to play it. And I think he's going to end up playing on Sunday. So when I look at it like that, and also I don't think they're going to hold him out for super caution, to be super cautious with him, just based on the idea that if he doesn't play this week and they do clinch, then you're not going to play him against the Giants. And then he basically doesn't play football for a month. I don't like that idea. I don't like that idea even a little bit. But I think he does play Sunday. I think they clinch Sunday, and I think they wrap things up, and they're off next week, the following week, that is, against the Giants, and that would be fine. But with the doubt creeping in on the Eagles, I saw the power rankings. They drop in those standings right there. And then I see this from our friend over there, the Jacob Media YouTube channel. Dan Cilio puts this out. Eagles have one and done written all over themselves. I couple this in with the power rankings, having one and done written all over themselves, and then catching a few minutes of Good Morning Football with Kyle Brandt, where he's being asked about the Eagles losing to the Cowboys and how it's a big deal. The Cowboys have now passed the Eagles and all this other stuff. And it's like, wait, hold on. And Brandt's point, and I get this because it's what we talked about on Tuesday, I get the idea that you hang with the Cowboys without the MVP Jalen Hurts. And Brandt's point was that the Cowboys needed every second of that game to beat a team without the MVP quarterback playing for them. And I'm like, if you're a Cowboys fan, you're supposed to be spiking the football on that? Like, I get that. The only thing that bothered me about that loss was the turnovers, obviously, the 4 turnovers, and of course, the way that the defense played, although it was short field in a lot of those instances. But I get this sense that there's this negativity surrounding the Eagles right now. Like, we had this great season. They were undefeated. Then they lost to the Commanders. They were doing great. They were 13-1. And then they lost to the Cowboys on Christmas Eve. When do you get Jalen Hurts back? You don't know if you're getting your right tackle back. You've lost Devontae Maddox. You might get Ceee Dee Duece back. Like, all this is played out. And I feel like there's been people out there that have lost their faith in this Philadelphia Eagles team. And if you're a fan, you should have faith. Yeah, you should have a lot of faith in this team. I don't believe the Eagles defense is going to play that bad again. I don't think they're going to have another 3rd and 30 this season. Good God. This team's defense, although facing a lot of scrutiny, has been one of the best in football all season long. In terms of points allowed per game, in terms of sacks, in terms of passing defense, everything they have done this year for the vast majority of the season has been pretty damn impressive. I'm not going to let one play where they had their backup nickelback out there decide whether or not this team sucks or not. And I'm not going to have that take away from how great a season this has been. And I have a lot of confidence the Eagles are going to go out there on Sunday, wrap it up, and just handle their business, clinch home field advantage, and put all the doubting to rest. I have a lot of confidence in that happening. And it comes down to the fact that it's the same reason I thought the Eagles were going to actually beat the Cowboys on Christmas Eve, is because they are such a deep football team. I got confidence in Jack Driscoll going out there. If you're asking me who's going to be the starting right tackle on Sunday, I think it's going to be Jack Driscoll. Do I think he's going to be Lane Johnson? No, obviously not. But there's a lot of room from Lane Johnson's greatness to still the level of good. Like, you're talking about one of the best right tackles ever for the Eagles. One of the best right tackles you could certainly say, and he always does, and he said it yesterday, best tackle in football. Lane Johnson, best tackle in football. Not right tackle, but best tackle in football. Okay. But there's still a lot of room from like great, good. He's good. And I think Jack Driscoll will be good. That's where I think he's going to fall in there as good. Good is still good to have. It's not, blowing up defensive ends and knocking them on their ass every play. It's not, invincibility, but it's still pretty damn good. I'll take good. Good's pretty good. Invisibility would be kind of cool too. It's just like, what the hell just blocked me? What was that? Anyway, but I don't understand after the one loss to the Cowboys, where it seems like, and yes, there's been injuries, but I think this team is deep enough to still secure home. When the Eagles lost Carson Wentz in 2017, I remember the next day. I remember I was with WIP. I was on the morning show that day. And I remember Angelo, I think, and Rhea were in Los Angeles because there was this big thing where they went out to Los Angeles. There was a big snowstorm here in Philadelphia. So Al and I got stuck back in Philly, and we're doing the show. And Angelo's in Los Angeles. Al and I are in studio in Philly. And Angelo, doom and gloom. It was going to be terrible. We lost our season. We lost our MVP. And Al and I were looking at each other, and we hadn't even talked before the show. Al and I were looking at each other like, well, Nick Foles can still win games. They got a great defense. So they'll at least lock up home field advantage in the playoffs. I swear. That's what we said in the moment. And they did. You can still do that this year if you do have the injuries leaking into this game, whether that's Ceee Dee Duece or whether that's Jalen Hurts. But if you go beyond it and you go into the playoffs, I still think this Eagles team can win in the playoffs. Because I know by then they'll at least have Jalen Hurts back. I know they'll have Lane Johnson back. I know they'll have Ceee Dee Duece back by then. I mean, guys, the guy had a sweaty shirt on, so he might even be back this week. But in all seriousness, this loss to the Cowboys, although it sucked the way it happened, although it was terrible the way it happened, I still have confidence that, especially when they get their MVP quarterback back under center, I have a lot of confidence this team is going to win. And they are going to win in the playoffs. And they are going to make the Super Bowl. I know that it sucks watching your team lose, especially on Christmas Eve, especially to the Cowboys. But that has not made me lose faith in this Philadelphia Eagles team. They could still go out there on Sunday with Gardner Minshew as their starting quarterback, if that's what it comes to, and win that game. I don't think that's the way it's going to go down, but I think that's certainly possible that he does start. Eagles 6.5-point favorites right now going into Sunday. I'm not losing faith in this team. And I urge anyone with doubts or anyone thinking something along the lines of they're a one-and-done team. I can understand why you might think that if Gardner Minshew's your starting quarterback in the playoffs. But if Jalen Hurts is back and ready to go, throwing to A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith, a healthy Dallas Goedert, I'm feeling pretty good about this team's chances of making it to a Super Bowl. With Jalen Hurts as their quarterback, they find ways to win. With Jalen Hurts as their quarterback, there is zero doubt in my mind they win that game on Christmas Eve. Zero doubt in my mind. Cowboys fan, he couldn't beat us. He could have struggled against Cooper Rush. Yeah, 17 points. It's hard to hold everyone under that. And you guys have a deep team, so it's not exactly shocking that you guys put up points in that game. So good for you. But to look at that game, decided by a touchdown and a point after, depending on how you want to score it. I do feel good about the Eagles' chances of meeting the Cowboys again, especially if the Eagles have Jalen Hurts that time around, especially when the Eagles are going to have home field advantage. So to me, I am not losing faith in what this Eagles team has to offer. I do want to get this to you here. This is, well, before I get to this, let me tell you about my friend Steven Singer at Steven Singer Jewelers, the other corner of 8th and Walnut, right there on Jewelers Row in Philadelphia for over 40 years. Steven's been in the love business in Philadelphia, helping people fall in love and get engaged in Philadelphia. And that's what he loves to do for you, his customer. At the other corner of 8th and Walnut, go right there, and you'll get treated like a real family member and get the perfect price each and every day. The perfect price each and every day at Steven Singer Jewelers. Online at IHateStevenSinger.com. That's IHateStevenSinger.com. Steven Singer Jewelers, one place, one price, the perfect price. Online at IHateStevenSinger.com. Here is Nick Sirianni on Lane Johnson, basically all but confirming reports of Lane Johnson putting off surgery for his team.
Yeah, I mean, he's one of the toughest guys we've ever been around, and obviously says a lot about how he cares about his teammates, who he is as a teammate, and he's in pain. That he's just going to do whatever he needs to do to get himself ready to play, and that's for his teammates. So it speaks of his toughness and his desire to connect and how much all his teammates mean to him.
Beautiful. Rally the troops, as they say. Lane Johnson's efforts, Lane Johnson's decision to put off surgery and be ready for the playoffs was not lost on his teammate, Jordan Mailata.
That's that dog mentality. Doesn't surprise me Lane's going to do that. It's a very selfless thing to do. And when we started this journey back in OTAs, we knew what we were going to sacrifice, and Lane's just the embodiment of that. It's the reason why he's the captain.
One of the things that I really thought was interesting during that 2017 run, when you had all the injuries and it was the next man up mentality and everyone was playing for everybody and all that stuff, it's just the way guys stayed involved with this team. Whether it was Jason Peters, whether it was Darren Sproles. The thing that jumps out to me with the Darren Sproles instance is the fight he had with Carson Wentz, the argument he had with Carson Wentz in the locker room. Like, no, you got to be there. You got to support your team. But I don't wanna. Carson, damn it. But I don't want to support. I want to support me. That's how I picture it went down. But how those guys stayed involved, how those guys stayed on as leaders. That's what's impressive. And Lane Johnson's not going anywhere. He's not playing probably for the rest of the season. But the postseason, he'll be back. The fact that he'll get this break, the fact that he's putting off that surgery, and the fact that he's showing this kind of leadership and dedication to his teammates, that is a special thing. And also, he knows, as Jordan Mailata pointed out, when you get there to OTAs, you look around, you see the kind of team you have, you think, maybe this is it for Jason Kelce. This might be the last time I line up with Jason Kelce. This might be the last year I line up with Jason Kelce. Hell, this might be the last year I line up. I think all that stuff goes through your mind, and you want to make it special. You want to know that when you look back on your career, you couldn't have saved a thing. It was all out there on the field, as the old cliche goes. Well, you want to know this time around, especially, that you left it all out there on the field to play with Jason Kelce. And every snap you could have been out there for, you were out there for. You want to have no regrets about what you could have, or couldn't have done. What you achieved, I'm sure, hey, we wish we won 2 Super Bowls, 3 Super Bowls. Who knows? But I think you want to make sure that you did everything you could to capitalize on the time you had in the league, especially the time you had with someone as special as Jason Kelce, a future Hall of Famer. So looking at all that, it's a pretty wild thing to think about him saying, yeah, you know what? I'm going to put off this surgery, deal with this pain, and go out there and play. And it's not lost on his teammates. I do want to give you this. This was it's probably the best news from yesterday. This was after. I'm holding on to the Jalen Hurts rants by Nick Sirianni for 1 second because I want to make sure I get this to you. Nick Sirianni, when he was asked about Ceee Dee Duece and the state he is in right now.
CJ's feeling better, and it's just good to be him around and everything. We'll see where we are with that. But I know he's feeling better. I know he's on the road to recovery, and it'll be good to get him back when he's able to get back.
He is playing. I know the reports were out there yesterday about not being activated yet. Not activated yet. I'm going to go ahead and assume that if anyone on the Eagles right now doesn't need to participate in a walkthrough, I'm going to go ahead and assume it's Ceee Dee Duece, who doesn't need to set foot on the practice field for a walkthrough against a team he was a member of 4 months ago. That's September, October, November, 4 months ago. I'm going to go ahead and assume he doesn't need to walk through a practice to face the team he was a part of like 20 minutes ago. So that doesn't bother me. It could still happen. Listening to the coach talk about him, he's just get better, he's progressing, and see how he feels. That leads me to believe that he is going to play on Sunday. And let's not forget, once again, the drenched long sleeve shirt with sweat. Let's not forget that. I want to see if I can get Josh on the show. Maybe we can get a little bit more information on that. So here's the famous moment from the press conference yesterday. I'll give you the full thing for context purposes. Here is Nick Sirianni talking about Jalen Hurts and his current status as it pertains to Sunday's kickoff against the Saints.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. We'll continue to see how he progresses throughout the week. Does he have a chance? Of course he does, because his body heals. His body just knows how to heal. He's a freak, and so we'll see what happens as the week progresses.
But where does he stand as opposed to last week when he didn't practice?
Yeah, I don't like you were saying, like percentage wise, or I don't know how to answer that question. He's feeling good. Yeah, obviously if his body heals, I guess what I'm saying is if his body heals like quickly, which I'm seeing that it does, he's better than he was last week at this time because it's 7 days later. Does that help you? Sorry. All right. I'm not trying to. Yeah, I'm just
Nick, what is this
trying to answer your question.
Body heal stuff? Is he like a superhero or something? Like, what is this? How does his body heal differently from everybody else?
If you and him went up and you guys shot baskets together, he'd whoop you. If you guys went out and you guys raced against each other, he'd whoop you. If you guys went out and tried to throw the football, see who was to throw it more accurate or further, he'd whoop you. And so his body heals faster than yours.
Will he be in the walkthrough today?
And he's younger than you, a lot of different, like younger than you. He eats probably better than you. And I'm just singling you out because you answered the question, but that's all of us in this room.
He could beat you in jump shots, so he heals faster. It's science. Okay. I did text Sealski last night because I didn't get to listen to the press conference till later in the day. I did text Sealski last night, and I was just like, I don't know, man. For all the people to pick on in the media about eating or athleticism, Sealski's one of the last guys that I would pick on if I was a coach. Sealski's like in shape. He eats great. Oh, and by the way, he's a hell of a bartender. Just throwing that in there. But yeah, of all the reporters, I think that Mike Sealski would be the last one I'd pick on there. The man's an Adonis, is what I'm saying. God bless him. But yeah, I don't really think that's how it works. I mean, it probably helps a little bit, but I would certainly hope he would heal faster than any media member. Any media member. That's like when people, like if I criticize a throw from Jalen Hurts or any quarterback, I'd like to see you go out there and throw it. No, you wouldn't. I can guarantee you would not want to see that. Let me go watch a professional athlete or there's some guy well past his athletic prime. As I've told you guys many times, I peaked in 8th grade. Maybe freshman year of high school. But you don't want to go. You don't want to see me out there. Like Chip Kelly would talk about how he's like, I'll work at anybody if I think they're going to help the team. Even you. And he pointed to like a random media member. It might have been Domovich. I'll point to run you out there just some surprise thinking you can help the team. No, you don't want to see that. No. When he toasts a Pop-Tart, he toasts the edges just perfectly. Better than you. Anyway, so that's where he's at. I think he's playing. Nobody knows if he's playing. I think he's playing on Sunday. Last thing I got for you from our head coach here, Nick Sirianni, was talking about this one sent me down another spiral. This is Nick Sirianni talking about Lane Johnson and who's going to be his replacement. He was asked by our man John McMullen, who was on the show yesterday, whether or not Jack Driscoll's going to just slide into that spot. If it's as simple as that, here is Nick Sirianni on who's replacing Lane.
Is it just as simple as is Jack in the short term at least, because that's his.
I'm not going to
natural
give you that
position.
answer. 'Cause if I give you that answer, then I give the Saints an answer, and I want them to have to prepare for all the different options that could possibly happen. We have a lot of different options that could happen because you got Andre, you got Jack, you can move Jordan. So there's a lot of different options. That's a great thing to have options because now that guy playing the right side, our right side defensive end, their left side defensive end has to prepare for different guys. So it's good to have options. Let's say that.
I understand the gamesmanship, but in all seriousness, let's please. I don't want to get worse at two positions. I don't want to take away from Jordan Mailata as left tackle. And when Jordan Mailata was asked about it yesterday during that same sequence I showed you earlier, where he talked about how great Lane Johnson is, how much he wants to be out there with his brothers, and all that, what a great teammate he is, why he's a captain. Jordan Mailata said, "Well, they haven't told me anything about moving to the right side to put Andre Dillard there as the left tackle. They haven't said anything to me about that." And he said, "You'll probably find out," meaning I think it was John Clark asking the question. He said, "You'll probably find out before I did or before I do." That's how it always happens. You media guys find out, and then they come and tell us. I don't think that's what they're going to do short term or long term. And that's good for two reasons. That's good so you know your right tackle is going to be on Sunday. And that also lets you know that your right tackle, Jack Driscoll, on Sunday will also be good enough on Sunday to continue being the right tackle and not give the Eagles a need to flip Dillard and Mailata and put Dillard out there at left tackle and then take crossing. I've gone cross-eyed. And then take Mailata and put him as your right tackle because Mailata can play both. Dillard can only play left. This is fun. Follow the bouncing ball, folks. But I think it's going to be Jack Driscoll for the foreseeable future until you get Lane Johnson back in the order, back in the lineup. The other thing is Nick Sirianni with that. I'm not going to tell you who's going to be the starting right tackle because the Saints know. Has a coach, I understand the gamesmanship, but has a coach, and not wanting to give the opponent too much information, but has a coach ever just gone to a podium and just said wild, ridiculous things to throw off another team? Has that ever happened? Yeah, we're going to have Jordan Mailata actually as the quarterback. Jalen's throws in practice this week. We've been a little off. And, Gardner, we feel like we've given a shot. And, he lost to the Cowboys. Jordan Mailata, we feel like we're just going to line up in the Wildcat every play, and we're just going to make sure that he can go out there and run the ball, and he's going to lead the offense. He's going to lead the offense. So Jordan Mailata is going to be our quarterback. Jason Kelce, we like him as a center, but we feel like he could be better suited this week as a linebacker. So we're going to have him and TJ Edwards. Like, have you ever just thrown out things like that, and then the other team go, "Oh God, we got to prepare for that," and then they prepare for it, and then you do the other thing anyway? No, it doesn't happen. You know why? Because I don't think teams really give a damn. I think teams look at teams listen for bulletin board material that finds its way back to their ears. For instance, Nick Sirianni wearing a Dallas sucks or beat Dallas t-shirt, whatever the hell he wore last year, and then they ended up going to Dallas in week 2 or 3, whatever it was, and then they got blown out by Dallas. That stuff gets posted on the bulletin board, definitely. But I'm not going to tell you who my starting right tackle is because then the Saints will know who my starting right tackle is. Yeah, I don't really think that happened. Oh, how about this? Say what you're going to do and do the opposite. Like to see it. Before we get to the chat check. Yeah, we really like Rick Lovato. We're just going to long snap every pass. We just figured that would be. He's very accurate. Anyway. Ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you about the great people at Manscaped. Manscaped.com. Go to Manscaped.com. Check out all they have to offer. Their Platinum Package 4.0 is their best hygiene bundle yet. Their Platinum Package 4.0. It includes their Lawnmower 4.0 trimmer, their Weed Whacker ear and nose hair trimmer, and they come with skin-safe technology that helps reduce the risk of nicks so you can manscape with confidence and comfort. So check out manscaped.com right now. Use promo code Farzy. That's promo code Farzy for 20% off and free shipping at manscaped.com. How about Freestone Farms CBD? FreestoneFarmsCBD.com. Freestone Farms, it's what you have to use. If you like CBD or if you want to try a different CBD, Freestone Farms CBD is quite enjoyable. It's great for anyone looking to take a more natural approach to everything that they put in their body. And it's great to help you wind down after a workout or relax after a long, hard day. Freestone Farm CBD, FreestoneFarmCBD.com. You'll enjoy their tropical tasting Bayox that clocks into a chart-topping 24.1%, and Super CBD, which is half Hindu, Kush, and 21%. Genetics of these guys are off the charts. So please enjoy Freestone Farm CBD, FreestoneFarmCBD.com. Use promo code Farzy for 20% off. How about PHL Sports Station, Philadelphia Sports Nation, enhancing your Philadelphia sports fan experience across all social media and blogs? That's PHLSportsNation.com. Let's jump into the chat check. See how all you beautiful people are doing on this fine morning. Kevin, hello. Sean, hello. Dan, what's going on? Mihai, morning, Mark, and everyone. I'd rather see Hurts play on Sunday. I'm still kind of paranoid after the Dallas game, though. It wasn't Minshew's fault. It totally wasn't Minshew's fault. Yeah, no, absolutely not Minshew's fault. But I'll put it this way. Jalen Hurts is a better quarterback, and I want him out there. Jalen Hurts is the MVP of the league. I saw the conversation really being drummed up again yesterday with Patrick Mahomes. Not that he needs a lot of drumming up. He's certainly a great candidate. Probably right there with Jalen Hurts. I still have him a little bit behind. But Jalen Hurts missing last week, them losing last week, I think helps Jalen Hurts' case of winning the MVP even more, especially if he's out, they lose, he comes back, they clinch the number 1 seed, and then he goes out again. That, to me, would be an even bigger deal for Jalen Hurts to win the MVP. Bigger feather in the cap, as far as I'm concerned. Wait, Dan, are you talking about James Harden's post-game outfits the last couple of games? Oh, he's been on full tilt. He's been all systems go. The hat that folded down that looked like it was knitted by grandma. It was like a bunch of pink doilies, and like you pull it down over your face. It's a ski mask hat, which pretty much all ski masks you can roll up into the hat, right? But the James Harden outfits have been quite up there. Is there somebody sitting there going like, anyone just like, no, man, no, why? Hey, you know what? If that's how you're comfortable, if that's what you want to rock post games, then you do you, man. And that is what he's doing. He's doing him. That's good, right? Shall be ourselves, right? But I look at that and I go, okay. I believe that there is a competition around the NBA about who can get away with the most ridiculous looking outfit. Because nowadays it's not ridiculous. Nowadays it's drip. Oh, you got drip. Okay. Russell Westbrook once runs for his money. James Harden once runs for his money. Cam Newton back in the day, he runs for his money in the NFL. People want to be, they want to be out there. They want to be on the Instagram feeds. They want to be out there on the TikTok feeds. Look what these guys are wearing. A lot of attention. Dress abnormally. A lot of attention in that. Notice today I've buttoned the second button, by the way, just because this one, I don't want to be one of those guys on your TikTok feeds. Oh, look at what Farzetta's wearing. Show a little bit more cleavage, why don't you? Jalen should play Nick or the medical staff in rock, paper, scissors to see if he can play. Dan Schwartz, brilliant. Not bad for premium circus outfit, though. Dan, there you go. He's got a little circus outfit there. Sean Gillespie, I like all the doubts and disrespect the Eagles are getting. The Eagles seem to be even better then. They do embrace that underdog mentality. What was the first words out of out of Jordan Mailata's mouth when he was asked about Lane Johnson? Dog mentality. He's got that dog mentality. And I know that means more fight than it means the underdog mentality. But this team still has a lot of those pieces that embrace, Lane's one of them, that embrace that underdog mentality. Isaac Seumalo's here. Jason Kelsey's here. Obviously, Lane Johnson. This team still has a lot of those pieces that carry that underdog mentality. Fletcher Cox, certainly. Brandon Graham, absolutely. Josh Sweat was a part of that team. There's a lot of guys out there that remember a lot of Super Bowl champions on this team. They know that dog mentality. They know that underdog mentality. You want to be without Jalen Hurts? Fine. We're going to battle till the last second against the Dallas Cowboys. Second in our division. We're going to battle to the last second against them without our MVP candidate. That is a dog mentality. Do you believe Carson Wentz is starting? Oh, Dan, yeah. Poor guy going to take another beating and get hurt, obviously. Yeah, Carson Wentz is back under center. There is a scenario where Carson Wentz, Jalen Hurts, obviously your Dallas Cowboys, are all in the playoffs. I mean, basically the headline there is Carson Wentz back in the playoffs. Imagine if they win. Imagine if they were to face the Eagles. Good times. Got that in. Not bad. Jalen, Dan, Sean Gillespie. I remember the Eagles haters at work doubting the Eagles making the Super Bowl without Terrell Owens. And of course, the Super Bowl win, so satisfying. You know, we have had our strife, have we not? T.O. goes down in the year of T.O. Well, first off, you lose 3 NFC championship games. Then you get T.O. And you feel great. You're going to go to the Super Bowl. You lose T.O. You still go to the Super Bowl. McNabb throws out. You lose the Super Bowl. You have Carson Wentz. He goes down as the MVP of the league. He doesn't win MVP of the league. Nick Foles comes in. They lock up home field advantage. Then they struggled. And then they won the Super Bowl. That was fun. Well, then he had Jalen Hurts. Jalen Hurts went down. Hopefully it's only a week that he misses. And hopefully he's back on Sunday. April. Good morning, April. I love when Nick gets feisty. He is definitely ride or die for Jalen. Yeah, no doubt there. April. See, now even Nick knows that Sealski sucks. I got to find that clip of Sealski saying he's not an animal. Dan Schwartz, Manscaped now while it's warming up. No cold balls. Fair point. John Frank, what's up, John Frank? Big win Sunday, even after the Cowgirls lose tonight. That's right. Cowboys are playing Thursday Night Football tonight. Dan Schwartz, I hope Henry plays tonight and runs all over him. He's got tens of thousands of fantasy owners concerned about their championship games. Certainly. Thursday Night Football, Titans, Cowboys. Yeah, I'm hoping the Cowboys. How great would it be that the Cowboys struggle to win against the Eagles, and then they go out, they face the Titans tonight, and then they lose to the Titans? But that would just be perfect. I think it would be perfect. I would love every second of that. If that was the way to go down, if Derrick Henry did play, and man. Drink it in. Always goes down smooth. What was the line on that tonight? I know they're in Tennessee. Oh, damn it. I just looked at the line. If you haven't seen the line yet, Dallas is minus 12. Dallas is 12-point favorites in Tennessee against the Titans. That's fun. By the way, Sixers. Eagles are down to 5.5. 5.5 point swing right now. That's not a good sign that Jalen Hurts will play, but I'm still keeping the faith. So yeah, we'll hope that Henry does play tonight. Thanks everybody in the chat. You guys are great as per usual. Let's get to the morning rush brought to you by Sky Motorcars, SkyMotorcars.com. That's SkyMotorcars.com. Ladies and gentlemen, Gene Segura, if you haven't seen it yet, signed a 2-year, $17 million deal with the Miami Marlins. Gene Segura is staying in the NL East, but he will be a member of the Miami Marlins, unfortunately. So we'll see Mean Gene, Clutch Gene, whatever Gene you want to call him, signing with the Miami Marlins. That's a report. Has not officially been announced just yet, but it is a 2-year deal with the Marlins, so look for that going down. I am still very curious to see what is going on with Carlos Correa, because if you remember when I talked about him not being with the Giants and him all of a sudden, I mean, you guys went to bed with him as a member of the Giants. He's going to be announced, the press conference, the whole thing. You guys wake up. He's with the Mets now in our division. So my point that day was, if you're the Giants and you get a medical report back on Carlos Correa and you look at it and you decide to postpone a press conference and possibly renegotiate a deal somehow, and then he ends up running to the Mets. If you're the Giants, whatever you saw in that medical report, better have said, well, if he plays baseball again, he is going to disintegrate as if Thanos has claimed him. Like, that's basically what you needed to read to jeopardize that deal. So then the Mets are like, you dumb idiots, we'll take him. And then he goes over to the Mets, he's with the Mets, and the Mets are looking at the medical report and going, he's going to disintegrate like Thanos. He's like, Thanos got him. So he can't, if he ever plays baseball again, he's going to disintegrate. Now the Mets are like, I don't know what's going on there. Away from baseball, away from sports, Carlos Correa, I hope you're okay, buddy. That's all I'm going to say. I hope you're all right. We're all pulling for you. Whatever it is. Whatever it is. I don't mean to make light of the situation, but I hope you're all right, man. I like how the Mets just jumped right in there without really any caution. Just, oh, you guys have a problem with him? We don't. Oh, now we do. Crazy. Sixers back at it to what am I saying? Where am I in life right now? Sixers up against the Pelicans tomorrow night. Tyrese Maxey expected to be back for the 8:30 tip-off. Look forward to that going down, obviously. Getting Tyrese Maxey back right now. Flyers back at it tonight. Late puck drop tonight in San Jose as they're out on the West Coast for a 10:30 puck drop with the San Jose Sharks. If you're perusing and you're looking for one of the dumbest things, one of the dumbest ideas ever, I don't know if you guys have seen this. It's a popular thing, and this caught my attention yesterday. I think it was SportsCenter that put it out there. Have you guys ever seen bowling ball soccer? Where guys are kicking, yes, a bowling ball around as if it's a soccer ball, and it's like they kick it and they're like, ow, ah, ee. It's been popular on social media. It's come up. It's been recycled a million times. You've probably seen it. If you haven't, you can find it easily. They decided to then make the worst game ever even more worse. It's the definition of worst becoming worst. Worst to worst. Is that the way you say that? They have now made bowling ball soccer on a field of Legos. Yeah. They have gone out to like a gravel blacktop soccer field, essentially. And they play their soccer with their bowling ball. And they have just dumped a bunch of Legos out. And yes, you are playing barefoot. I stepped on one of my daughter's Legos the other day. It was my first time as a parent. Holy Lord. That does really hurt. That does really hurt. My brother was big into Legos. Stepped on a lot as a kid. Apparently it didn't hurt that much when I was a kid. Now as an adult, holy hell. Owie. They hurt. They hurt big time. One personal announcement. It does. I think I mentioned this before. I'm following up, trying to keep you guys up. It does look like the family's moving. It does look like we're going to make the move to the burbs. Like one more thing. It's like 99.9% done. And like one more thing has to come through with some buyers for us. So we are in it. Not only is it the holiday season, ladies and gentlemen, but it's also that time of year. Well, it's not only the holiday season to add the stress there, but the stress of moving is also what we're going through right now. So, and stepping on Legos now. So, you know, just coming up roses for me. If Jalen Hurts stepped on a Lego, though, he wouldn't even say, ow. He would look and go, well, that's unfortunate. And he'd keep walking. You know why? Because he's better than you. Anyway, thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. This is the Farzy Show presented by Steven Singer of Steven Singer Jewelers. Jim Hyder produced the program. Did a wonderful job as per usual. Be back with you guys tomorrow with an Eagles-Saints preview and hopefully a little bit more information as to what goes down at Eagles practice today with Ceee Dee Duece and Jalen Hurts, as well as who's going to be your right tackle. That's right. Talk to you guys tomorrow. Have a great day. See ya.